let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed. That's not the definition of oppression. You tell me the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment that you've had, and we can have a conversation.
That is Representative Jasmine Crockett laying the smackdown on racist Representative Clay Higgins. What did Clay Higgins say to deserve that in a debate about DEI? He made this argument.
To my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, I'm an original co-sponsor of this bill, and I've noted some of the comments here, and I believe we should take a step back and ask ourselves, you know, what do we seek in our republic regarding individual rights, liberties, and freedoms? I mean, do you believe in those core tenets of our republic or not? We have an opportunity before us with this bill to push back against it. The ranking member mentioned a sweeping attack. Yes, this is what we have suffered. We have suffered as a nation a sweeping attack against equality. That's exactly what we're fighting against. Another colleague mentioned oppression and degradation. It's exactly what we're pushing back against. This is a bill that eliminates government-sponsored oppression of individual rights, liberties, and freedoms in the land of the free. Freedom of opportunity, not result. And reflecting upon the gentleman's comments of our former colleague, former Representative Gates, he's not here to defend himself. So let me speak on his behalf for all Americans accused of any crime at any level. I refer you again to our Constitution. Every American has the right to be recognized as innocent until proven guilty. Representative Gates has certainly demonstrated that he is a brilliant litigator. He's represented the interests of his district, and his own principles will sometimes vary from mine. He and I have very different opinions about some things. He's a highly qualified and brilliant man. And to attack him with accusations by name in this committee is wrong. The man's not here to defend himself. So I support the bill, Mr. Chairman. It is quite simply a strong response to the oppression of our individual rights, liberties, and freedoms as Americans, regardless of color or creed or political affiliation or where you stand upon the economic strata, what your background is or your heritage. All of us should be counted as Americans equal as we move forward through the course of our life on our journey, and we should not face obstructions that are baked into our government bureaucracies that exclude citizens strictly based upon their color, their heritage, their creed. This removes those oppressions.
You consistently said over and over the word oppression, and every time that you said it, it was almost as if I was hearing nails on a chalkboard, because it seems like you don't understand the definition of oppression, and I'd ask you to just refer to Google to help you out. Oppression is the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. That is the definition of oppression. And so as I sit here as a black woman who practiced civil rights, let me tell you the reason that my colleagues wanted to make sure you understood the same black history that your side of the aisle wants to delete out of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you were going to go and work We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen.
Clay Higgins, however, is a symptom of a much wider problem within the Republican Party. White supremacists aren't just accepted, they're welcomed and protected and forgiven very quickly for horribly racist things, and then we act as though it's just a slip of the tongue when it's a pattern of behavior. And it's just amazing how quickly Republicans fall in line and back the good old boys.
Any comment on the tweet that Clay Higgins put out today about Haitians?
I heard about that on the floor just now as well. Clay Higgins is a dear friend of mine and a colleague from Louisiana, and a very frank and outspoken person. He's also a very principled man. And I think he tweeted, I didn't even see it, but he tweeted something today about Haitians, and he was approached
by January 20th.
Okay. Well, look, he was approached on the floor by colleagues who said that was offensive. He went to the back. I just talked to him about it. He said he went to the back and he prayed about it and he regretted it and he pulled the post down. That's what you want a gentleman to do. I'm sure he probably regrets some of the language he used, but, we move forward. We believe in redemption around here.
Clay Higgins is a racist and has been his entire career, all the way back to when he admitted he voted for David Duke, who at the time was a known Grand Wizard of the KKK, and he admitted that he voted for him. He's a homeboy and all, which is what he said. Google it, it's in an article. And he also, in 2007, assaulted an unarmed black man and lied about it. The man is a racist, and he put it on paper, and he's unapologetic for it. So let's call a spade here with that, and not let him get away with it, and not let the Republican speaker and Republican members of Congress brush it off as if he just, made a comment that's no big deal. This is a big deal because people are threatened. Entire communities are threatened because of this stuff.
That's right. Representative Clay Higgins is maybe as close to a real-life Batman villain as you get. In his quest to get to Congress, he worked as a cop, but had a vigilante persona making straight-to-camera videos, as cops should do, warning suspects he was coming after them. His brand's almost exclusively Law and Order, which is kind of funny considering some of the people he associates with. Like this man here was accused of incest by a teenage relative. One of his cop friends was allegedly part of a sex trafficking ring. In 2007, Higgins and another officer assaulted an unarmed black man while on duty, according to an internal police investigation, and reporting from Louisiana outlet Bayou Brief. Party of Law and Order has a rap sheet that's out of control. Kind of weird, right? Kind of incongruous, kind of strange. You're about law and order, how about follow the law and maintain order and don't do a bunch of illegal bad stuff? I mean, even some of Trump's new picks in this Trump 2.0 cabinet have proved too corrupt and even too deviant for a party full of corrupt deviants. Looking at you, Matt Gaetz.
I've never been a prosecutor, but why would you want to become a prosecutor to then not prosecute the criminals? That'd be like opening restaurants and not wanting to make food. That'd be like opening a bar and not wanting to make drinks. Do you ever get to talk to some of these folks in your community and say, hey, I just sort of assumed that me being the restaurateur, I would run a restaurant, and you being the prosecutors, you would prosecute the criminals. Is that too much to ask?
Is that too much to ask, Matt? I don't think so. I agree with you for once. The criminals should be prosecuted. So maybe we should prosecute you and see if you're indeed the criminal that it seems you might be. And I say might be, for legal reasons. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, on all podcast platforms, or follow me at Ben Gleib on social media. Thank you.